right, we're about to peel back the curtain on one of AI's biggest secrets, and trust me, it is not what you think. Let's dive in. So you've probably seen it, right? These AI models have gotten ridiculously good at complex reasoning. But the question is, how? I mean, what is actually happening inside that digital brain that lets them solve problems that would stump most of us?
Well, it turns out the secret isn't just about syncing harder or for a longer time. The real breakthrough, the thing that changes the game, is that the AI learns to create an entire debate team inside its own head, a group of different perspectives, all arguing and collaborating to find the answer.
To really get this, we have to look at the big puzzle that had researchers scratching their heads. A new generation of AI models just showed up one day, and they were suddenly so much better at reasoning. And for a little while, nobody was quite sure why. The easy theory, the obvious one, was that these new models just thought for longer. They produced more steps in their reasoning. But when the researchers looked closer, that theory just fell apart. It didn't explain the huge jump in accuracy. Something about the quality of the thinking had fundamentally changed, not just the quantity.
So what was it then? The first really big clue came when they compared the internal thought processes of a standard AI with one of these new reasoning powerhouses. And wow, the difference is just night and day. On one side, you've got your standard AI. Its thought process is like a straight line, a simple monologue. It goes step by step, confidently says, this is a reasonable estimate, and then gets the answer completely wrong. Why? Because it never stops to second-guess itself.
But the reasoning AI, its process is a total mess, in the best way possible. It's a full-on debate. It stops itself mid-thought, going, wait, that can't be right. It corrects tiny details about chemical structures. It even proposes totally new possibilities. This internal argument is exactly what leads it to the right answer.
And seeing this messy but brilliant internal debate led researchers to a really elegant new theory for what's happening under the hood. They call it the Society of Thought. So the core idea here is that these models aren't just one single mind. To solve the really hard problems, they spontaneously create a team of internal agents or personas. These different voices bring different perspectives, and they question, challenge, and build on each other's ideas to reach a better conclusion.
So what does this internal society actually do? The researchers pinpointed 4 key behaviors. The AI will ask and answer its own questions. It will shift its perspective to look at the problem from a new angle. And this is the most important one. It creates a conflict of perspectives, where it literally argues against its own ideas. And then finally, it reconciles all those different views into a single coherent answer.
And get this isn't just a hunch. The data is absolutely striking. If you look at that conflict of perspectives behavior in a top reasoning model, it happens almost 30% of the time. In a standard model, it's only about 5%. That is a massive difference. The smarter models argue with themselves almost 6 times more often. Now, this is a fantastic observation, but science needs proof. So the researchers designed this really clever experiment to test the theory. If this internal debate is so important, what happens if we can push the AI to do even more of it? So they use these amazing tools to peek inside the model's neural network, and they found a specific feature that lights up with what they call conversational surprise. You can think of it as the AI's wait a minute or huh moment, and they basically decided to just turn up the volume on that one feature. The result was just incredible. By amplifying that single feature, by making the AI more likely to surprise itself, they doubled its accuracy on a complex reasoning task. It went from 27% to nearly 55%. Forcing the AI's inner voice to be more like a dialogue literally made it smarter. So why did this work? Well, this image gives you a sense of all the different areas of expertise inside the AI. When they amplified that conversational feature, it was like calling more specialists into the room. It activated a much wider range of these internal experts, from logic to arithmetic to chemistry, and got them all working on the same problem. Okay, so this whole leads to the next huge question. Does someone have to teach an AI to think this way? Or does it just figure it out on its own? Where does this internal society even come from? The answer is maybe the most fascinating part of all this. The AI learns it all by itself. Early in its training, the AI thinks in that simple, linear way. But just by being rewarded for getting correct answers, it spontaneously starts developing these conversational traits. By step 120, you can actually see distinct personas emerge, using words like we, expressing doubt. It learns that simulating a team is the best way to win. Just to confirm this, they ran one final test. They primed two AIs differently. One was shown examples of conversations between multiple agents. The other was shown the standard, monologue-style thinking. And the result was crystal clear. The conversation-primed AI learned how to reason much, much faster and more effectively. The structure of a dialogue itself is a powerful launchpad for learning.
So, what does all this mean for the future? Well, this research really shifts our whole understanding of AI cognition. It suggests that the path to greater intelligence isn't just about bigger models, but about models that can foster better internal conversations.
And a huge credit for this incredible insight goes to the research teams at Google, the University of Chicago, and the Santa Fe Institute. Just brilliant work. The authors of the paper themselves put it perfectly. They wrote, "Intelligence arises not merely from scale, but the structured interplay of distinct voices. It's not about being a bigger brain. It's about having a smarter internal conversation." Which leaves us with one final, pretty important question to think about. If an AI reasons best by simulating a team, how should we be teaming up with it?